Hello, everyone. This is the Phrancko. This I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing today? Oh, this is the meeting of the Phrancko Sweater knitters. We meet every week, and I don't know why I couldn't remember that at the beginning. So welcome to all of you, and anyone who would like to join us is welcome to join us. We are not a closed group, though you see many of the same faces every week if you watch the videos that we post. We want to welcome a new person today, Maggie. Hello.
Hi, I came because I started I was one of your sweaters, but I have a question for you guys. But I was using a single ply yarn,
Uh-huh.
and it
Well,
was
well, let me greet everyone, and then we'll get back to your question. How's that?
all right. Sure,
Great. It's nice to have you here, Maggie.
thank you.
Hi, Sumner.
Hi.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sidra.
Hello.
Hi, Serena.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Judith.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Ron.
Hello.
Hi, Tim.
I'm Tim.
Uh, well, we're off to a good start today. How's everyone doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
Surviving the summer?
It's fine.
I lived for a little while and had to get that fixed. That wasn't fun.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Tim.
Oh, I had the AC go out where I'm house sitting.
Oh,
It wasn't
no.
much fun, but we got it fixed.
That's life-threatening in Bakersfield.
$18,000 later.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, that boggled the mind.
So Maggie is here for the first time. First of all, Maggie, where are you calling in from?
I'm from New Mexico, and actually, I want to show Tim something because I bought some yarn from those guys, Tim and Ron.
Really?
Oh, good.
Yeah, come back.
So Tim helped me pick out these colors for this baby blanket that I knit.
Oh,
Because
isn't that beautiful?
all my grandkids live in Bakersfield. So
Oh,
I used to live in Ventura County, and I don't like looking at myself. So can you take that out?
I'll remove the spotlight if that makes you more comfortable.
Thanks. So where I live, there's the yarn store here caters mostly to so he has a lot of hand dyed stuff. So, and it's very remote here. We're living in northern New Mexico, and it's an hour and a half to get to Santa Fe to go to a yarn store.
Oh, my.
So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
Are you near Taos?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Oh, I've visited Taos a couple of times and I loved it.
Yeah, it's nice, but so very remote. So, so we've been here 3 years, and it's not a good place to be old. So we're just kind of medium old. So I don't know what we're going to do about that, but we'll
yeah. You get back in here. Maggie wants to talk to you.
Hey, Tim.
Hi.
I finished my blanket, but I still have to weave in the ends that you helped me pick out the colors for.
Oh,
So I called you from New Mexico.
that's
So
pretty.
this is what's it? Jody Long.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So,
I
so
love
that's,
Jody Long.
yeah. So that knit up pretty good. A size 6 needle, and then with the leftovers, I'm making a baby sweater for it's a boy. So here's a Debbie Bliss pattern.
Oh, cute.
Oh,
Attaboy, pizza boy.
Okay, I'm going to
cute.
spotlight you while you hold that up, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Hold it over your head and then.
Over my head, I'll put it in front of my face.
Oh, and that's
There we go.
Yeah, this is the back. I did the front. Then I'm gonna pick up. She sews everything. You know how the old-fashioned way they sewed everything, but I'm just gonna pick up and knit the sleeves the other way instead of sewing the sleeve. So anyway, that's my
Very
set.
It's so nice to see our yarns we've sent out in the world all grown
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's great. And if so, I'm hoping to come after the baby's born, so I'll come and see you guys.
Great. We will be here.
Okay.
And will the air conditioning be working, Ron?
Yes. If the air conditioning is not working, we will not be here.
So Maggie, you said you had a question
Yeah,
earlier.
right. So I started knitting a Phrancko sweater with a single ply yarn. That was, maybe you guys can know something about this. That it's a Noro yarn, and when I knitting in the round, it seemed to kink up so badly that it was not fun to knit with.
Oh,
You know, so I didn't know what to do about that. So I stopped knitting it, and it seemed to work better back and forth. And then during the pandemic, I learned how to knit continental, and it seemed better if I knit that method. So, but do you guys know anything about adding a twist to a yarn with your knitting style?
that sounds like a question for Ron and Tim to me.
There are a few things that can add twist to yarn. One of the, so was the yarn in a hank or like a
Yeah.
pellet
Yeah,
you're working from?
right. No,
Um,
well, I wound it into a ball.
you wound it into a ball.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was twisted in a skein.
right.
So sometimes the method you're using to draw your yarn
Uh-huh.
can add twist to the yarn,
Uh-huh.
particularly when you pull from the center.
Right.
It can add a not insignificant amount of twist to some yarns. And if it helps you to visualize it, you can think of like if you had a roll of toilet tissue that
Yeah,
didn't
you know,
have the center.
I watched that. You guys know Nimble Needles Norman? Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's who I learned, that's where I learned continental knitting from.
Oh, yeah.
Him. So he has this demonstration of that pulling from the center.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
things curl up versus
Yeah.
the outside of a roll, you can just roll.
Right.
Right. And then, yes, some yarns when working add an incremental amount of twist as you work, just from the way you manipulate the yarn in your hands.
Uh-huh.
Work and the amount can vary between knitters, and a lot of it has to do with rather than like the stitches themselves adding or subtracting twist, it's often a matter of your yarn management and how you handle the yarn when you're adding tension and drawing new yarn. But a singles yarn, particularly something like Noro, which can tend to be sloppy or have differing textures in
Right.
places, and the spin can differ in places.
Right.
It can really start misbehaving and become less fun. And a singles yarn is by necessity an unbalanced yarn.
Uh-huh.
It's going to have more twists in one direction than the other because it's only one ply of yarn. What can help, particularly since Noro yarns tend to be woolly natural fiber, I don't know if you're using like silk garter, but reconditioning the skein can help. Getting it back into a loop, giving it a long soak,
Uh-huh.
letting it hang.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So before I put it in a ball, do
Yeah.
that.
Give it
Okay.
a good reconditioning. Give it a nice long soak. Some people, weavers, when they use yarn, like I don't know if anyone weaves.
So the people here do.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
right.
Will add tension, like put a little weight on the bottom of the yarn
Oh.
when reconditioning it. It's something hand knitters, hand crocheters do not tend to do when
Uh-huh.
conditioning a yarn, but it is very common for weavers to apply tension, which can sometimes help the twist even out more throughout the yarn and get out of places where it's kinky and get into places where it's underspun. And that can help a yarn behave, giving it a nice warm bath and hanging it up to dry.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So what about the difference between English and continental? Do you think that's anything?
You're by necessity going to handle the yarn in a slightly different way when you change your own knitting styles. I don't think there's an inherent difference between, because they make the same stitches, right?
Right.
The fabric comes out the same, but how you are handling your yarn is going to differ between different styles. You may just have one that you tend to twist your yarn a little bit more when you're tensioning it through your fingers or when it's coming out of your project bag or what have you at some point down the line.
Yeah, interesting. I saw you guys'
Cindy.
names aren't on here. No, Cindy, when you were talking about watching your hands.
Yeah,
when
did you have an
knit.
insightful look on your
Mhm.
face?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And I wove some, not much, but enough to kind of know a little bit. But I'm also was a spinner, and I have spinning wheels. So it does sound like that what you've got is it's overspun, or at least overspun in places.
Okay, right.
I would say, in addition to the bath, Ron, did you ever thwack it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that thing where you slam it wet.
Yeah, well,
You
yeah.
slam it, and it's kind of weird, but you like pull the skein out kind of tight between your hands, and then you take it and you just slam it. I do it against the shower. Shower wall, so that it's clean, and then move to a different place and do it again. That is another thing that helps to like redistribute.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. And just even slightly start to bloom a little bit more and felt it a little bit. It's not going to felt it bad or anything else. You're not banging it a zillion times. It's just a very few times. And then hang it. And if you have one that's just twirling some for the knitted yarns, you can hang just a very tiny bit of weight on it. What I've done is I will just even use a plastic coat hanger, which weighs hardly nothing, but it is enough to just smooth it out so that then it's going to dry in that smooth way, and then will handle better.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm finding this violent knitting very funny.
It's actually not. It's not violent, but
Yeah, whack it with
but
a
it does help
coat
to.
hanger.
It does help to really even out the the tension, and where you've got thick and thin places. It makes your spinning look a lot better. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, I've got a cake of hand spun over here that got the living daylights beaten out of it. It's a 2-ply, but it looks very good now.
The brand is S&M.
But it does actually help, and it's easy and fast, so not a problem.
Okay.
And
There
if
you
you
go.
want someone that you're living with to worry that you've lost your mind.
Well, there was
No chance of that.
stonewashed jeans. Remember stonewashed jeans? They
Yeah.
abused those and charged more money. So
Yeah.
if you work that hard at it, you gotta charge more.
Funny jeans story. When I was really young, jeans were very, very thick. I mean, the fabric was super, super thick. I mean, it was just practically, new jeans would practically stand on their own.
Yeah.
So I got a pair of logging jeans from a little hardware store, which had been there for 100 years out here. And they were horribly stiff and horribly hard. And so Dad's like, tie a rope through the belt loops and put it in the creek and let it stay there for a week or two. They were wonderfully soft. They weren't worn out, but we just tied them in the creek and let them kind of flow in the creek for a while. So yes, that was way before they had stone wash.
That was truly stonewashed.
It was truly stonewash, and it was with the little creek, and we had the little stones. It wasn't, but I don't know, like less than a foot deep. It wasn't very deep, but it will break in your jeans really nicely.
And then you can feed Arnold the pig.
That's right. Well, no, the pigs we had were Wilbur and Orville were our first two pigs, because that they were named after the Wright brothers.
Oh, that's fun. My pig
and I did actually have them. We actually had them.
Yeah. Being French Canadian, pork is a vegetable. So Pepe had pigs. Judith, come on now. What are you trying to hide?
Pork is my favorite vegetable.
Yeah, no kidding. And butter is my favorite beverage. So, Judith, you missed this picture. I wasn't going to show it while the recording was going on, but I mean, everyone knows I'm French Canadian, but Judith missed this. The redhead is my mom,
No.
and then this is my aunt Eva, who just passed
Oh.
away, and she was 92.
You have to keep this.
So for her funeral and wake, of course, you know, they had the ice cream truck come and everything. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. We had a definite celebration. We all had to wear pink for her wake. And, you know, everyone was like, really? And huge family. So she had 14 kids and adopted one for 15. So there was a lot of people.
And being clowns, they only needed one small car.
That's right. They're all like 4'7", right? Yeah. Being French Canadian, Judith, like, you know, the circus is a big deal, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Well,
Yeah.
my family, the circus came to town and my family left, you know. They jumped on the car and that's it. That's what happened. But anyway.
What do you mean? They left with the circus?
Oh, I have probably a lot. I probably have 10, 15 clowns in my family that
They did.
works for
Simple.
Barnum and Bailey or Cirque du Soleil. My cousin Alan worked with Massé Massot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of
Wow.
clowns.
So that's where you got your sense of humor?
Oh, my mother was nuts, but yeah, I would be. So Faneuil Hall Marketplace, downtown Boston, is like this really popular tourist attraction. And my mom, she's 4 foot nothing, and she'd be making the balloons animals,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I would be pumping the thing to blow up the balloons,
Really?
because you can't blow up that many balloons, you'd pass out, right? So you
Yeah.
have a pump,
And
and they'd be like, "And who are you?" And I'm like, "That's my mom." Working the balloon pump, right? Yeah. Kind of fun.
Oh,
Yeah. She had a cotton candy machine and everything. But yeah, Eva was 92. My aunt, my mother had passed during COVID, but not of COVID. But it was nice to finally like have a service in which like my mom was remembered also, because they were so
yeah.
close. Because such a big family, and during COVID we could have like 4 people. You
When
know?
was the service? Just this last week?
Thursday, yeah,
oh.
Wow.
Thursday, and and the ice cream truck came, and everyone was so excited. It was so much fun, just to celebrate her life. It was very nice.
That's awesome.
And that was her plan. Like, so part of my aunt's plan for her after party was to have like the ice cream truck come and have all the kids have ice cream.
Nice.
I
So
may
very
have to steal that idea. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. It was like the right kind of funeral. If like you're French Canadian, is like laughing and crying and, you know, fighting and drinking. It gets a little loud, but
So,
whatever.
I'm a, how do you say? I'm an exception. I'm.
I am also not a clown. My little story, Frank, that you missed, and then I'll shut up. I was a young kid and I'm up at my aunt's and she's trying to teach me how to juggle and ride a unicycle. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And she looked me dead in the face and she said, "You better do good in school. We got nothing for you."
Because you're not joining the circus.
Because you are not doing this. We don't know how you're gonna make money, but you better do good in school. Yeah.
Well, there
That's
goes your
great.
plan B.
Right.
Isn't that fabulous? That's fun.
Okay, to move along to another subject. I was reviewing the comments from last week, and there were a couple of questions, both about swatching, because we talked a lot about swatching last week, and we talked about that, what I called the secret, where you don't have to knit all 5 inches by 5 inches. And one question was, I mentioned that you want to take the measurements for your gauge, both row gauge and stitch gauge. You want to take the measurements before you block it, and then you want to block it and take the measurements again. So someone asked, isn't the gauge after blocking the most important one? And isn't that, I mean, as if maybe that's the only one you need? And so it prompts me to now reply. That's the one you would enter into the pattern generator at Phrancko.com. That's the gauge you want your sweater to come out as after it is blocked. So yes, in some ways it's more important. But the reason for also measuring the gauge before you block it is because while you're making the sweater, you want to check your gauge and make sure that it matches what you did before. But the sweater has not been blocked while you're working on it. And
Right.
so you want to match the pre-blocking gauge while you're working on your sweater so that after you block the sweater, it will match the post-blocking gauge. And of course, all of that is moot if the two gauges are the same. And by the same, I mean really the same, because even one stitch in 4 inches can make inches of difference in the circumference of a sweater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Judith, were you speaking from experience?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
So that was one question. And the other question was something I should have thought of when I was proposing this. And that is, as you know, all of the sweater patterns on Phrancko.com are knitted in the round. And we talked about working a swatch that was flat, knitted flat. Well, don't you have to do something different if you're matching a gauge that's knitted in the round? And I would answer that most people do not knit the same gauge flat and in the round. And so, yes, you have to do something different to match the gauge and the round. And one solution to that is to create your swatch by knitting across and then pushing the stitches all the way to the other needle on your cable needle, and then bringing the yarn around behind the work and then just starting again and knit across again. And then do the same thing repeatedly. So every row is knitted. And you can do that on the wide part of the swatch, and then you can still cast off across, as I suggested last week, and do the same thing on the narrow part of the swatch. And that will give you an accurate gauge for knitting in the round. Of course, the two outer stitches on both sides are going to be misshapen because they get loose. So you just don't measure those stitches. You measure inside the gauge, inside the swatch, where the stitches are all uniform. So I hope that answers those two questions. Anybody else have anything they want to add?
Roxanne Richardson has a great swatch in the round where she hangs the yarn behind it.
I agree.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
really.
is another technique. It's harder to
Yeah.
describe.
A lot of
Yeah.
yarn though. Oof,
Yeah.
use a lot of yarn.
So talk among yourselves. I have to go check my pattern to see what I do next.
What are you guys working on?
I don't know.
Ron, I'm doing the same little weird sock that I've been doing.
Uh-huh.
And it's very tiny. That's what I do for my Zoom stuff.
Oh,
But I am working on level 3
yeah, I
of
heard.
the Master Hand Knitter. And so I've been reading, I got a new book. I've been reading Cast On, Bind Off, and it's 211 ways to
Oh my
begin and
gosh.
end your knitting.
Gosh.
I mean,
Oh,
it's like,
boy.
who knew there was 211 ways? I didn't. But anyway, so, and it's a huge book. I did get the comb binding, which makes it really nice to lay flat.
Uh-huh.
I just got a used one off Amazon.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, it's very interesting because the first 6 swatches have to be different, matching cast on bind off, besides the long tail. And so I'm learning about all new different ones that I haven't done before. So that's what I've been doing, is studying and taking copious notes.
Are you having fun?
Does it tell you which cast on to use for a particular project or something, or what? Or just cause?
What do you mean for which swatch, or?
Well, no, I mean, if you're gonna use a different cast on and a different bind off, and you've got
It
this
does
project,
say
you know,
it does say for the different ones. It'll say some of them are really stretchy, or some of them are really firm, or some of them are good if you just want really something really decorative, like a picot, which has the little lops down, below. So there's those. There's some that just have different looks that kind of look like a braid going around
Oh, yeah.
around the edge. So some, it's like, what do you want the edge to do and to be? Do you need it to be really stretchy? Like, is it something that the neck is kind of tight and you need to stretch a lot, or to go over the top of the sock, to go over your foot really well? Or do you just want it to not roll the stockinette like at the bottom of a sweater, but you don't want it to pull in, you want it to just come down straight and hang nicely? So they give suggestions to say, oh, this is really nice, maybe for a scarf or for a blanket or for the bottom of the sweater, but they don't tell you exactly what it is. It's
Okay.
more kind of, you get to choose based on what you want.
very
And
cool.
for the swatches, we just have to choose. They just say, choose one that will work with this thing that we're making you knit. Except for the first one, they do say it has to be tubular, but they don't tell you which tubular. So you have to choose which tubular and then write instructions. That's really hard part.
Oh, boy.
When you're having fun, it seems like
I
you are.
am. I really am. It's just like kind of opened the door to a whole bunch of other new things to learn and to try. And I love reading and studying and trying the different ones. And it's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I mean, I had the little tiny cast on bind off book of this one, which was
Yes,
which is,
I have that one too. Yes.
Leslie Bester. There's 54, and so I thought, oh, surely that's all there is, and then
Yes.
and then this one was like 211. It's like, oh my gosh. And then as I've been researching and looking at articles in Cast On and YouTube videos from different people, it's like there's even more than 211. There's like so many different things.
Wow.
And so it's very interesting, and different ways to do a very similar looking and acting bind off. That
Okay.
like I want to say German twisted cast on is one, but there's several different variations of it that are similar but a little bit different. Some of them are a little easier to do and some of them are a little harder to do.
Okay. Tiny differences or you say nuance. Yeah.
Yes. And so I find that stuff fascinating. I really like doing it and figuring out.
Yes.
And I just like learning new things. It's fun.
That's what's important. Important, having fun
I think so.
in what we do.
things that bring us joy.
Yes. Indeed.
Now, what state do you live in?
I'm in Washington,
Washington.
near Seattle, but a little bit away. It's but closest to Seattle.
I was curious to know, isn't this weekend Flock Festival?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I was wondering if you were going to attend. I don't know the distance of how far it is from where you live, Cindy.
I'm not going. I'm sure
it-
it's a wonderful thing. If I get, I don't even know, where is it, Sidra? Is it in Seattle?
It's in Seattle.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. So, like
it's too
40
far.
minutes or 40 minutes or something. It's not
Oh,
horrible,
okay.
but there being traffic and parking and kind of all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
For
Yes.
mine, if I bring home any more yarn, Jerry might have a little bit of a fit.
You have to go there with handcuffs.
No, I would just prefer that what I do is I call Ron and Tim and they help me and it comes in the mail and Jerry never sees it and then he doesn't know.
In discreet brown paper packages.
That's
Right.
exactly it. And see, it's like, it's one thing if he's there watching me, then that's kind of a no. But if I just do it and it just kind of comes in and he'll even be like, oh, I haven't seen it. It's like, oh yeah, it's been here for a while. It was on the other shelf. So we don't, I
Ron
try to
has
just
the-
be nicer.
Ron has the best stitch gauge marker, the little stitch gauge thing, the twisted skein,
Oh, yeah.
where you measure that's like the best one, Ron. I use
Those
that
are
one all the time.
hot commodity now. The company
one.
is now
Yeah.
defunct.
I
Oh, this
love
is my
that
very
one.
favorite. It hangs on a little thing on the wall right here next to me. I got it from my very first order from Ron and Tim. When
Me
they
too.
helped me pick out colors that I needed. It was very special. And I use it all the time.
And
Maggie's
that's
yarn
available at thetwistedskein.com.
Yes, yes.
Maggie's yarn definitely looks like Tim colors. Tim looks like he had a hand in that project.
Well, I think that Tim has done a really good job for me because I don't usually choose what you would think of as Tim colors like that. I'm like pretty like bright and pinks and purples and orange and that sort of stuff. And yet Tim helped me and it worked really well. So I can't say anything about it. I think Tim and Ron meet you where you want to be and really listen and hear
We try
what it is
hard.
that you're trying to make. Yeah.
How long have you been in business?
It will about 7.5 years. It'll be 8 years in February.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
The time flies.
Yeah. Are you from Bakersfield?
Yes, I'm a native Bakersfielder.
Yeah.
Tim was born in Fresno or something, weren't you?
Uh-huh.
The Central
That's
Valley.
Bakersfield, California, in case anybody
Ah,
doesn't know what we're talking about.
Right at the southern tip of the Central Valley here. So yeah, I've lived here most of my life with a few stints in other places. But
Yeah. How's the fire, the Burrell fire?
oh, the last I've heard, it was fiery. It just,
Oh,
I don't know how much headway they're making now.
yeah,
It's
gosh.
been a little bit out of the minds of people locally because we've been having earthquake after earthquake this
Oh
week.
my gosh.
Have you really?
no,
Oh.
Tim.
For like 3 days in a row.
Oh,
It started with a 5.2 on like Monday night.
Oh, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, and it was very disorienting. I sleep on a Japanese mattress, like on a mat on the ground,
Uh-huh.
and it felt like someone had gotten under my mattress and was attempting to flip it over. And just like,
Oh.
and then I was like, okay, why am I suddenly very dizzy? Am I having like a neurological incident? Clearly nothing is under my bed.
Oh my gosh.
And then it continued on, probably the longest earthquake I've ever felt as like a lifelong Californian.
Wow.
it went on for forever. And then there were like a few immediate, like perceptible aftershocks, and then again, and then following days. But there have been like a total of 200 small seismic events and a double handful of ones that you can feel. So that's kind of taken our attention this week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Earthquake after earthquake.
Did it cause any damage that you know of?
I have not heard of anything significant, like
Uh,
structural anywhere, and no fatalities or anything like that. So
did
that's
things fall off of shelves or anything?
fell off of shelves.
Oh.
My concrete floors have a few more spider webs and cracks in them.
Wow.
My pool was sloshing out all over the backyard.
That's actually kind of cool to
Oh.
watch.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
No yarn was hurt though.
No yarn was harmed. Just do this.
Thankfully, when yarn falls off a shelf, it doesn't tend to break.
The instructions said break yarn, and I threw it as hard as I could, but nothing happened.
Yes.
So then my family lives sort of all close together. My sister and her family live next door to me, and then our properties touch. My parents, where Ken stays, and the and the air conditioner died. So then, okay, we're all going to meet back here and have our post-earthquake meeting. It's like, how's it? Okay, everything fine. Everyone go smell your range and smell your laundry room. Make sure there's no gas. And it was all fine. So just like, yeah, I had to run around the house sniffing everywhere that gas might be.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, don't go to bed. If you have an earthquake, don't go to bed before you sniff your gas.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't sound something that I'd like to do here.
Yeah.
The gas.
I've lived in California for 24 years now, and I've never experienced that.
Wow.
It was,
Yeah, no earthquake that size has been around me.
yeah. And they occasionally happen, and you have conversations with the water crew, like, did you feel the earthquake last night? Like, oh no, I got to sleep.
Yeah.
But this one there was no missing it.
Right.
So it was certainly the biggest series of seismic events I've ever experienced as a lifelong Californian.
So Frank, you missed the 89 earthquake then, huh?
Yes, I didn't move here till 2000.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yes, I of course saw it on the news, and yeah, that was really,
Is that when the freeways collapsed?
yeah, and a segment of the Bay Bridge collapsed.
Terrifying.
But the worst part was the freeway collapsing, the double layer freeway. The upper layer collapsed into the lower layer. Cars were trapped.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Put a lot of faith in engineering.
So on a more positive note, what's everybody working on?
Knitting.
Yeah.
I'm back to making ear flap hats.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
we-
love those. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As one of my friends wanted an orange one for hunting. So there we go. And
yes.
then my friends thought that was just great. They wanted to get rid of all their orange yarn. So I made another one.
Oh, that's fun.
Well,
And
that's a
so
great
now I'm
idea.
using everybody's orange yarn, and then I'm on another one. So,
Oh my gosh.
That's
Oh,
fun.
goodness.
so nobody wanted their orange yarn, and they're probably good for hunting. So that's what I'm doing besides my work knitting. So I'm doing a lot of working jobs too.
Oh, that's great.
1898 hat, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, this is called
Yeah.
the 1898 hat. It's a free pattern, and it's great for Zoom. It's just garter stitch mostly. It's
Yeah, they
awesome.
buzz right up. Yeah.
Yeah. Uses quite a bit of yarn though because of that rim having garter
We-
stitch.
Yes.
So you have to be, I ran out, I was gonna make a second one and ran out of the orange yarn and ended up with a different shade of orange. So, but that's all right. Interesting. You could mix and match colors. People have done everything with this hat. You can do all
Yeah.
kinds of things with it.
As long as the orange is outside for the chasseur is what? The
Well, it's
Hunters.
actually kind of like double knit.
hunters. Yeah.
Yeah, this is double knit right
Yeah.
here. So
Right, right.
you hold it, but yeah, I never made an orange one, but he wanted an orange, and
Well, as a hunter,
yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
great
It's like a
place.
great hunting hat.
yeah.
Yes.
I was wondering if I should put like a little black section right here for a Trump hat.
Circle.
Just an idea.
Oh, Serena.
That's my only political comments.
I'm gonna change the subject really fast because we are recording. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm back
Um,
to the baby blanket.
Mary emailed and said to say hello to everyone. She had a memorial to attend, and so she wasn't able to come. But she said she's knitting 3 different things. And she says it's kind of a lot to keep track of. She's doing charity knitting for hats, and she's still doing those. She called them hateful rectangles, where she's doing those same in the kind of
Yeah.
scratchy acrylic yarn to make them
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And so she's doing that, but she said to say hello to everybody, that she missed you, but she
Hi,
wants to be back
Mary.
next week.
Hi, Mary. We love
Mary.
She
you.
said she would be watching afterwards. So yeah.
Of
So hi, Mary.
That's fun.
Sidra, I don't think we've seen what you've been working on for a while.
No. So I started a new sweater called Surus by Joji Locatelli or something like that.
Wow.
My goodness.
First time I've ever used mohair. Well, not true. It's the first time I've ever had mohair in a sweater, and I'm going, am I going to handle the neck? I don't know. So we'll see how it works out. But and going back to speaking about gauge, I really did not get gauge on the sweater, because her pattern, she has you using a size 3 needle, and I had so many stitches on that, and I kept on going up on needles, and I stopped at size 6 and figured I'm not going to go any higher than a 7, so I just started doing it all in needle 7. So we'll see how it comes out.
Hold on. It's just a single mohair.
Yeah. Well, okay, so around the collar up here, that is
yes.
fingering and a mohair.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Love mohair.
And then I also realized after I had gone down the needle size that they recommend, so I went down from a 7 down to a 6. I really don't like my necklines to be smaller. So next time I do something with ribbing, and I start with ribbing in the beginning or whatever, I'm just going to do the same needle as the rest of the sweater. I don't think that would really make that much of a difference. And around the sleeve and the waist, I can go down the needle size that it tells you to do.
Mhm.
I think that's what.
Well, wouldn't that depend on just how you actually do your ribbing? Some people do their ribbing a little bit looser, and so they do need to go down a needle, and I don't think you do from the way you seem to.
No, because I'm a tight knitter.
Yeah, so you wouldn't need to go down.
Yeah. So I mean, I've realized that, doing like Phrancko sweaters and everybody, everything else is like, it's too tight around my neck.
Yeah.
And I usually end up having to take it apart anyhow.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
it.
the colors are really pretty. That's nice.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Because go ahead. Please.
no, I was going to segue into something else. So if you have a pertinent thing to say,
Your turn, Judith.
Well, you can see I'm not home. I'll tell you about that later. But I'm also working on a mohair sweater,
Oh,
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
it's top down.
That's gorgeous.
wow.
The sleeves are inside, but it's just stockinette all the way. I didn't use Phrancko's pattern. I wanted to try. I have a book from Anne Budd.
Mhm.
So I
Which
decided
one?
to use. Um,
Knitting from the top? I mean, sweaters,
that's right.
top-down sweaters or something like that.
Yes, that's right. I wanted to. Oh my God.
Judith, it's fine.
So
Judith,
Okay, I'll remove the spotlight. You've shown your work. It's beautiful.
You need.
oh my
See,
God.
Maggie, you're not the only one who doesn't want to be
No, you're
full blown
not.
on the screen.
Right.
No, it's just that, okay, I have to say, I'm in a low budget hotel room right now, and I had to close the AC because it's too loud for the mic.
Oh,
So I was wearing a sweater. I'm too hot, and now it's okay. So, anyways, about my sweater. So I'm using a 3.5 millimeter needle, and I want the sweater to be is a lot of ease. Well, enough amount of ease, so I can wear it over a summer dress when it's when the night is a little cold. So it's going okay, but after this one, I also want to make one with the same yarn, a red one, and then I will try a Phrancko sweater and compare the result and talk about it.
oh, that'll be interesting.
Very
That was my. So
It'll be
I'm
especially
here.
interesting if you like the Phrancko sweater better.
yeah, we would
Yeah.
like to hear that,
I'm
Judith.
not so sure I want to hear the opposite. No, I'm just kidding. We'd love to
I
know
know.
how they compare.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I will keep you updated when I get to that. So I'm here because I decided to be a volunteer at a fiber festival outside of Montreal. It's called the Twist Fiber Festival. It's northwest of Montreal, about 140 kilometers from where I live. So I've been here since Thursday, and I'm leaving Monday morning, doing different things, helping. I don't know how to call exposant, maybe, people, Ron, if you were in a fiber festival, you are a
Vendor.
vendor. Sorry, that's so I'm helping the vendor when they have to either leave their booth and have a meal. So I will keep their place not safe, but I can help
Watch.
answer.
Yeah.
Watch, answer some. I'm sorry, please help me.
So have
bring
you
the-
been able to keep from buying yarn yet?
Yes, I've only bought tea. It's called tea from Labrador tea.
Yeah.
From up north. But I've spotted some things, so there's still tomorrow.
Give us a full report, right?
Uh-oh.
There's about 100 and I think 120 vendors, but
Wow.
not only
Oh, that's
there's
big.
not only yarn, there are some quilters, there are some people who sell ceramics, there are some weavers, some spinners, so it's very different. So it's nice. People are eager to ask questions and very nice to answer. It's nice.
How old is the festival?
12 years old. Yeah, it's the 12th
You're
year.
up so fast.
So Jenny, I know everybody in the world is waiting to see or hear how you're doing with your parasol.
We have parasol. So I put a couple of pictures on my Rav page, which is probably better than me trying to hold it up here because the light's not very good.
Okay.
So if you have a look on there, I've just put a couple of pictures on there for the moment. My granddaughter is coming down tomorrow, and I'm going to get her to pose in the garden and take some nicer pictures tomorrow. But I've a couple up there. But yes, finally finished on Thursday. So chuffed to bits.
Remind me again what your Ravelry name is.
CROWTJE.
CROWTHER.
No, JE.
All right. Spell it again. I didn't get it right.
T for Charlie, ROW, T for Thomas, J for Jenny, E for elephant.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
No, it says nothing matches that. Must be doing it wrong. Anybody else find it? People.
I logged into Ravelry.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. And, wonderful. Now we've got it. Oh, that looks terrific. Let me share the pictures.
Oh, please.
Boy.
Oh,
boy.
wow.
Yeah, gosh.
Jenny.
That's such a beautiful
Beautiful.
thing.
Pardon my French. Nailed. Good.
Wow.
Jenny.
You have to leave.
It's so beautiful.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. So yeah.
it perfectly fits the frame you had for it too.
Wait.
Yes, so I had to do a bit of fudging. There's about 7 or 8 extra rows on there from where the pattern, and it's stretched quite tightly on it. But yeah, no, it's fine. So yeah, it's really
It
good.
is absolutely gorgeous. Wow.
Bravo. Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
It's okay.
That's wonderful.
My sweater hasn't gotten much longer because it's been quite a week, but you can see the scale of the stripes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
quite bold.
And that's your hand dyed, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's great.
So the black
Wow.
and acid green.
Yeah.
I'm doing my sleeve caps. Among the strangest sleeve cap instructions I've generated so far, it was like 8 times every 3rd row, 2 times every 8th row, and then 7 times every 3rd row.
Gosh.
Okay.
Somewhat unusual for me.
Lovely color though. I like the green.
Wait.
Yeah.
Something violent to look at.
So
And do you want to wave to people?
are we
will
okay
you
for
be
baby
adding
blanket?
any other colors, or is it just going to be the green and black?
Just green and black. Tim's got making hands.
I want to see them again.
Oh,
That's fun.
Oh my gosh.
He
They
has
look
wire,
like claws.
wire armatures in them.
oh,
Oh,
wow.
oh, that's
Oh,
fun.
wow.
Hose.
Oh, that's fun.
So fun.
So this is going to be quite the sizable um, monster when he's all done.
Oh, look
oh
at
my
that.
gosh.
So cute.
Oh, wow.
Very
Oh,
sweet.
and that's his
Oh.
ear.
It almost makes me want to learn to crochet.
Wait.
So
Yeah, we need pictures of that when it's done, Tim.
that is going to be a showstopper when it's finished.
Of course. Yes.
And then I'm still plugging away on my sweater. I finished the body and I have just started the
Wow.
sleeve.
Gosh.
Nice.
So
Very sweet.
the body is very long
Yeah, oh boy.
and of course ends with the ribbing and the invisible bind off. And so here's this sleeve. And let me see if I can get the full there's the full pattern.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Wait.
Very nice.
Yes.
Is this one for you, Frank? This one?
Yes, I think this one will be for me.
Is the body longer than you typically make it?
Actually, I think it is the
Okay.
pre-blocking is longer. It's actually a little tight on my body and it was supposed to be quite loose. So I think when I block it, I will stretch it horizontally and that'll shorten it up. It is longer than I would normally make a sweater.
I don't know if anyone else has Jenny right above Judith, but on our screen, Judith has something like a black rectangle behind her that Jenny's t-shirt has lined up on. So it looks like Jenny is standing behind Judith wearing like a big cloak. Just like Darth Vader, Jenny lurking over Judith.
Oh my goodness,
It
that's
killed us for
funny.
a minute.
I
That's,
wish it was positioned that way here, but it's not.
that's
Oh, can I move them? Oh, look at that. I can move it.
Put it over. Give us one of these.
That's frightening.
That's my tiny curtain on my tiny window on my tiny room.
that's funny.
So now we've learned we can move the squares. That's pretty cool.
I didn't know you could do that. I just decided to try it. Then
Oh
it
my
worked.
gosh, that is so cool.
That's fun.
Sorry to derail you there at the end. but
Well,
I shared that.
you had to say something. It was worth it.
It was.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's a good note for us to end on. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you all for being here. It's
Thank
been
you,
wonderful
everyone.
to spend another hour with you. And Maggie, I hope you'll come back
Thank you
and join
Please
us.
do.
for your help.
Be wonderful. Yes.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.